Don't look!
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the story of the 2005 movie Survival Island. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future movie recaps. Now, let's jump right into the film. The movie opens with a woman named Jenny struggling to swim toward the shore of a deserted island. She looks completely exhausted and eventually collapses on the beach. But how did she end up there? To find out, we need to go back a few days earlier. A few days earlier, a group of people sets off on a vacation aboard a luxury cruise ship. Among them are a married couple, Jenny and Jack, who are traveling with Jack's parents. After boarding the ship, Jack introduces Jenny and his family to the ship's captain. A little later, Jenny and her friend notice a handsome crew member named Manuel. Her friend even jokes that she'd be okay with getting cheated on if it were with someone like Manuel. Not long after that, Manuel's ex-girlfriend suddenly shows up and causes a scene in front of everyone. She yells at Manuel and slaps him across the face. Humiliated in front of all the passengers, Manuel immediately slaps her back. Furious, she storms off, swearing that she'll ruin his life. That evening, the passengers gather for dinner and drinks. While Manuel is serving everyone, Jack quickly develops a dislike for him because of his cold and distant attitude. When Jack offers him a drink, Manuel flatly refuses without showing any emotion. From that moment on, the tension between the two men begins to grow. After the party ends, Jenny returns to her cabin and Jack follows shortly after. Meanwhile, Manuel chooses to spend the rest of the evening quietly reading a book in his room. At the very same time, Manuel's ex is shown performing a mysterious ritual using a doll that looks just like him. Every time she strikes the doll, Manuel feels the exact same pain. Moments later, his nose suddenly starts bleeding for no apparent reason. The next day, the passengers continue enjoying their vacation aboard the cruise ship. Jenny and her friend relax while being attended to by Manuel. Still holding a grudge from the night before, Jack decides to complain about Manuel's attitude to the ship's captain. The captain calls Manuel over and reprimands him. Unfortunately, Manuel has a short temper and quickly loses his cool. In the middle of his angry outburst, he accidentally throws a cloth onto a stove that is still burning. At first, no one notices what happened, but moments later, smoke begins pouring out of the ship's kitchen, followed by flames that rapidly grow out of control. Panic quickly spreads throughout the entire ship. The fire races from one section to another, leaving the crew with no way to stop it. Within minutes, everyone is forced to abandon the ship in a desperate attempt to save their lives. Not long afterward, the cruise ship explodes in the middle of the ocean, while the survivors are scattered by the powerful waves. The story then returns to the present. Jenny survived the disaster, but now she finds herself stranded alone on a deserted island. Filled with grief, she keeps replaying the moment she was separated from the other survivors after the powerful waves scattered everyone when the cruise ship exploded. In the middle of her despair, Jenny discovers the captain's body washed up on the beach. She rushes over, hoping he's still alive. Sadly, it's already too late. The captain is dead. While Jenny is still trying to process what happened, Manuel suddenly appears. It turns out that he also survived the disaster and ended up on the very same island. From that moment on, they have only one goal: to stay alive. Day after day, they work together to survive. Manuel teaches Jenny how to catch fish, gather food, and build a simple shelter to protect themselves from the sun and rain. Although things are awkward at first, spending so much time together gradually brings them closer. One day, Manuel notices that Jenny has fallen back into sadness. Hoping to cheer her up, he invites her to go swimming in the ocean. Manuel gets into the water first without any clothes on. Jenny hesitates for a moment, but eventually joins him. That moment becomes the beginning of a growing attraction between them. Without realizing it, their relationship slowly changes from simple friendship into something much deeper. But everything changes the very next day. While searching for food along the shoreline, Manuel discovers someone lying unconscious on a rocky cliff. To his surprise, it's Jack, Jenny's husband, who also survived the shipwreck. Without wasting a second, Manuel rescues Jack and carries him back to their shelter. Jenny is overwhelmed with joy when she sees that her husband is still alive. She immediately hugs him with tears of relief. Manuel, however, doesn't seem nearly as happy to see Jack. Later that afternoon, after Jack regains his strength, he notices Jenny and Manuel gathering food together. They seem unusually close, and that immediately makes him suspicious. As Jenny's husband, Jack slowly begins to feel jealous. Even so, he keeps those feelings to himself. They share the food Manuel caught earlier, but the atmosphere is tense. Jack starts making subtle, sarcastic remarks toward Manuel. Manuel chooses to stay quiet, but it's obvious that he doesn't appreciate Jack's behavior. As the days pass, the relationship between the three of them continues to fall apart. Every time Jack and Manuel see each other, they trade insults and sarcastic comments. The tension between them becomes harder and harder to control. Everything reaches a breaking point when Jack accuses Manuel of trying to steal Jenny away from him. The argument quickly turns into a major confrontation, and Manuel eventually decides to build his own shelter away from Jack and Jenny. Unlike Jack, Manuel is far more experienced when it comes to surviving in the wild. He has a spear, a knife, and excellent diving skills, making it much easier for him to find food. Meanwhile, Jack and Jenny have to rely on a campfire and whatever basic tools they can find. One day, while Manuel is asleep, Jack secretly takes Manuel's spear and hunting gear to catch fish in the ocean. The moment Manuel realizes what happened, he completely loses his temper. Furious, he confronts Jack and nearly attacks him. Fortunately, Jenny steps in just in time and manages to stop the fight before it turns into something much worse. But without any of them realizing it, the real conflict between the three of them is only just beginning. Although the fight was eventually broken up, the relationship between the three of them was already beyond repair. One day, while Jack is out diving for food, Jenny and Manuel spend time together again on the beach. The feelings they've been trying to hide can no longer be contained. The two of them secretly begin an affair without Jack knowing. A short while later, Jack returns with a large fish he caught, but he immediately notices that something is different about Jenny. She seems unusually quiet and keeps avoiding eye contact with him. Jack begins to suspect that something has happened between his wife and Manuel. When he finally confronts Jenny and demands the truth, his worst fears are confirmed. After learning that Jenny has fallen for Manuel, Jack is consumed by anger and heartbreak. In a fit of rage, he drags Jenny over to Manuel and tells her that if she has chosen Manuel, then he no longer wants to keep her by his side. From that moment on, Jack lives alone while Jenny chooses to stay with Manuel. A few days later, while diving underwater, Jack discovers a damaged boat resting on the ocean floor. After a tremendous effort, he manages to drag it all the way back to shore. Jenny and Manuel offer to help him, but Jack flatly refuses. He plans to repair the boat and leave the island alone, abandoning both of them. Realizing what Jack is planning, Jenny and Manuel secretly come up with a plan of their own. They decide to steal the boat when Jack lets his guard down. Their chance finally comes when Jack leaves to gather more food. Manuel quickly wakes Jenny up, and together they push the boat into the water and attempt to escape the island. But their hope doesn't last very long. Once they reach the open sea, they realize that Jack had deliberately punched holes in the bottom of the boat. Water quickly starts flooding in, leaving them with no choice but to swim back to the island. Watching their plan fail, Jack laughs in satisfaction. He then grabs a wooden spear and attacks Manuel without hesitation. A fierce fight breaks out between the two men. This time, however, Manuel is defeated and is forced to run into the jungle to save himself. At the same time, Manuel's ex-girlfriend is shown performing the mysterious doll ritual once again. Every movement she makes seems to have a direct effect on Manuel. While hiding in a tree, Manuel loses his balance and falls. His body is impaled on a sharp wooden stake at the exact same moment his ex continues performing the ritual. Sometime later, a boat finally arrives at the island. On board is a family enjoying a sailing trip, and by pure chance, they discover Jenny. They quickly rescue Jenny and take her away from the island. As the boat begins to sail away, Jenny catches one last glimpse of Jack, who is still on the island searching for food as usual. But this time, she chooses not to go back. She simply watches him from a distance as the boat continues sailing away, leaving Jack alone on the deserted island. And that's where the story of Survival Island comes to an end. What do you think about Jenny's decision at the end of the movie? Did she make the right choice, or did she betray her husband? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next movie recap.